Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for a little refresher on one of our favorite projects here at the Round Table. No more intro needed. Pull up a chair. It's 3 reasons why we're bullish on MobLand. Reason number 3. Mo money does not equal mo problems. We want mo money. That's why we're here. So MobLand's consumption economy is a game changer. And secondly, it's taken a very chain agnostic and honestly overall tech agnostic approach. And lastly, well, that's my favorite one. So you're just gonna have to watch till the end. So let's start at the top with the consumption economy. You see, the real world is MobLand. Some of y'all just forget it because the biggest gangs put a fancy acronym in front of their name. People gotta eat, people gotta move, people need protection, and often assets need to be consumed in order to make this happen. Having an in-game consumption economy is table stakes for any GameFi project. If you aren't starting here, you aren't playing with the big boys. There are a few examples of real-world utility that keeps the economy moving that translate well into the digital space. Like billboards, which commoditize attention, real estate, commoditizing access to markets and providing a space to store your product, accessories, to show those around you that you're better than them, and factories, to keep those trucks and the guns loaded. Now the attention one's relatively simple. Fun games attract players. Any dedicated and active user base will be inherently monetizable. The users themselves are the commodity. Personally, I just like to monopolize my market so I don't have to. But if you like stadiums, Google, YouTube videos, or NASCAR, well, scratch that last one. Then you can't hate on ads too much. When most of you think about getting rich, I'm sure you picture yourselves in Lambos, but few have visions of owning factory lines or licenses to conduct business. But these are the productive assets that represent the supply side of the economy. They return value to their owner by producing products or raw materials that others need. MobLand is implementing this critical asset class. With land scarcity and private ownership, the strongest mobs will always be able to take over and monetize their turf by hosting productive assets such as farms and hospitals and protecting them. So that's the attention, productivity, and real estate, all of which we know produce economic value in the real world, or MobLand. And status, well, we can know who the baddest motherfuckers are just by looking at them. And this will certainly be the case in MobLand too, don't worry. So that's a lot of potential avenues by which more money can come into the ecosystem, which is very nice because I'd like to have a larger pie to fight over. MobLand will be a place where money can multiply, but it still needs liquid capital markets in order to allow that value to exchange hands, like from the rivals to the round table. In previous videos, I talked about why Sinner is well equipped to represent a reliable reserve currency and underpin MobLand's economy. So you can check it out there if you want to get more into details. That's all just reason number 1. Next, I want to take a look at the team's chain agnostic approach. The more players in the game, the more money for us to take. MobLand's formula is meant to work for as many people as possible without having to consider what network they're on or even layer. They're going to run on Ethereum and Polygon and Solana and more. Imagine how often you'd visit a website if it only ran on Internet Explorer. Enough said. Y'all been using the internet at least a decade, and I don't even know if you know what HTTP is. Don't ask me, I just shoot things. My point, if we're talking about what layer or what chain we're on, that is a sign that the ecosystem is in its infancy. And when we're no longer talking about that, that'll be a clear milestone we're further along. MobLand's vision is far enough into the future that they're focused on building an end product that can reach as many people as possible, regardless of the tech they're on. So that's reason number 2, tech agnosticism. Focus on what matters to the end consumer. The last reason I'd like to have you think about is user-generated content. This is a sleeper of an advantage and could be the thing that separates the moderately successful projects from the industry-altering ones. So think about this. Would you rather be Netflix or YouTube? Netflix has to pay up front for every piece of content on its network, whether that's the full price of production like with their originals or licensing fees. True gangsters pay no licensing fees. YouTube simply creates an environment for others to come and do the work for them, returning some of that value back as incentive. Gotta have the foot soldiers doing the legwork if you want to get big. I must add that we don't fully have the details on how they plan on implementing this, and it strikes me as more of a phase 3 type of thing, but just the fact that they've talked about it already is a very good sign. Maybe it'll be syndicates building pharmacies in highly contested areas that see a lot of demand for their services from injured players, because we care about our community. Perhaps we'll have some entertainment within the world that players can create and monetize, like a concert at one of our casinos. Or maybe there will be a whole host of novel creations I can't think of, and that's the entire point. Alright, that's it for now, mobsters, but if you stuck with me this far, I hope you found some value that can inform your approach to MobLand and also other projects within the space. To recap, it's important to understand how the project plans on enabling the creation of and capturing that value, and any built-in limitations they might face due to not taking a tech-agnostic approach. And lastly, if they're attempting to tap into the unlimited creativity of their community, well, I say,